peepers are out in full force this autumn, soaking in the colorful show Mother Nature puts on here in the Granite State. From the mountains to the coast, hundreds try to capture the bold reds, oranges, and yellows on their camera rolls. Vern Orlosk is a fused glass artist based out of Manchester, and she's doing her part to preserve those fall leaves year-round through her art.
It's different from what people know as normally stained glass or blown glass. It's in between. It seems really redundant because all artists sort of pull from nature, but it can be anything I see in color or shape or line. I'm interested in depth. I want people to see into something.
Before exploring the world of leaves, Vern worked primarily in blues and greens, capturing ocean themes.
Everyone is different. I sketch something out, but it changes as I go. So I think change is what I really like. It's what I like about the ocean. It's what I like about New England and fall leaves. It's always changing.
Armed with a grapefruit spoon and a self-destructing sketch pad that disintegrates in her kiln, Vern began to explore New Hampshire's fall foliage through glass.
Glass only comes in certain colors. You would think that it has infinite colors like paint, but it doesn't. So there are certain colors I'm still working on, I just can't get. When I'm done with this leaf, I'm usually doing it to about 1/4 of an inch thick, which is necessary for going into the kiln because the glass powder is 40% air. So it will come down in depth, it will also shrink up in size.
Vern fires her foliage twice. The first time, it comes out flat, and then she adds it to a mold to give it shape and movement before firing again for another 8 to 10 hours.
When I started the fall leaves last year, I knew that it kind of was going into winter, and I did a series and 2 large triptychs that involved ice and snow. The holes in the leaves, that's sort of that organic thing that comes naturally to leaves, and I know that happens in glass, or glass powder, which is what I work in.
She has also recently started adding stems, or lyrical limbs, as she calls them, using a technique called a vitrograph pull.
It's a different kiln process than the way the leaves are done. So I have to pull those separately, and I've recently done that and sort of picked out a few that were really intriguing to me, and that becomes sort of inspiration as to where I'm going.
The leaves hang brightly in Vern's mind and in homes, galleries, and businesses throughout the year, and just like the trees, no two are ever the same.
Whether I do start adding flower buds, I still have images in my head of things. I want to do a really big pile of leaves. I would love to do that, but that might take 100 leaves that I have to make.
Tucked away in a studio in New Boston that blends into the landscape is artist Deborah Claffey, a mixed media mastermind with one goal in mind.
I try to not have that separation between inside and outside. I mean, so much of our lives now are on computers, so I like to minimize the separation between in and out.
The landscaper and garden designer blends both of her worlds through her art.
It can be despairing sometimes when you see how many plant species and animal species are going extinct while we're alive. So knowing I'm making some effort really, really helps. I would say I'm mixed media. So I use the encaustic, but I add oils and I add printmaking, or sometimes I start with printmaking and then add the encaustic, and yeah, it's definitely mixed.
Deborah didn't start her journey as an artist until she was 30, then focused on painting. She started with still lifes.
And then the plants started moving in. First it was a vase of flowers, and then flowers had more leaves, and then you couldn't see the still life part anymore because they were all plants.
Since then, she's been adding to her bag of tricks and producing beautiful, ecologically minded works that help connect those that view them to nature.
This is one of the earlier pieces where it's a combination of drawing plus painting, and I use everything, pencils and sticks and rollers and sometimes brushes, not often. Normally I start drawing first, and that loosens everything up. But the leaves are very happy to get printed once or twice too, and then the ink is usable on the plants too, so I'll ink up the leaves and print them. Today I was working with peony leaves and hydrangea leaves and geranium leaves, and the ferns, of course, love to be printed. Everybody loves a printed fern because it's so gorgeous. The caustic is painting with molten beeswax plus pigment, so we thank the bees for that. But I can carve right into the waxes. I think most people will say the reason they use the wax is just so versatile.
Each of Deborah's works are unique in technique and color and created with intention and high hopes for those who enjoy them.
I hope that it connects them a bit more to the natural world, and they start to see the plants as more than objects and more than pots that they buy at the store, that they have personalities, the trees have intelligence. The plants have been around thousands and thousands of years, longer than we have.